Hey, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50, mind, body, soul. And today I am talking about our emotional health. And I have a question for you. Are you emotionally healthy? It's a question you might want to ask yourself. Being aware of our emotions and our reactions when they happen, whether it's an emotion of sadness or frustration or anger, we have to be aware of those emotions at that particular moment. Because when we are aware of that emotion at that moment, it allows us to be able to stop and evaluate the emotion that we're feeling, the thought that created the emotions. Our emotions are created from our thoughts. When we take the time to address it at that moment, it gives us the opportunity to figure out where the thought came from and the emotion that's attached to it. It gives us the opportunity to be able to reframe the thought, which actually helps us to be able to reframe our emotions as well. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Master Coach G here. Hey, Master Coach G here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. Want to thank you for joining me today on today's episode. And I am continuing my conversation about our emotional health. So I have a question for you. Are you emotionally healthy? I want you to think about that for a minute. Here's a few of the signs that may be an indication that you may be dealing with some type of emotional baggage. You may not sleep well at night. You may not eat, or you may overeat. You don't feel like doing anything. You just feel like, okay, I don't want to do anything, so you don't do anything. Those are some of the signs that you may be dealing with some emotional issues, and you may want to examine that, because that is going to start to affect your physical health. I'm telling you, it's going to start to affect your physical health. Our emotional health is really a part of our overall health. It really is, and I know that most people don't look at your emotions affecting your physical health, but it does, and it's very important. See, the thing about being emotionally healthy is that you can manage, not necessarily control, but you can better manage your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. Being able to manage that gives you the ability to be able to cope with life challenges. That's why being able to manage your emotions allows you to be able to manage your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. It also affects your decision making too. That's another whole nother subject, but it does affect your decision making. But being able to manage those things helps us to be able to deal with life's challenges, and we're all going to have life challenges. They can keep problems or issues into perspective. It gives us a chance to be able to bounce back from setbacks more quickly when we are emotionally healthy, because we are able to look at things from a different perspective, from a different way. It's almost like stepping outside of your body and seeing the situation, like reframing, if you will. But it does help you to be able to bounce back from any type of setbacks that you have in our lives. That's the good thing about being emotionally healthy, is that we can bounce back really, really quick. The thing about being emotionally healthy, and I think I said this in the last episode, is that just because you're emotionally healthy doesn't mean that you're going to always be happy. Now, you may be sad, you may feel angry, and those are all emotions. but you're still going to feel them even if you are able to manage your emotions. Being able to manage allows you to be able to be aware, and that's one of the things that I want to talk about, because you have to be aware that you're not going to always be in the land of gumdrops and lollipops. You have to understand that. Not at all times, okay? But we have to be aware of our emotions. And here's how we can be aware of our emotions, because our thoughts create our emotions. Okay? Our thoughts create our emotions. So if we are managing our thoughts, therefore we manage our emotions. So let me tell you how our thoughts are connected to our emotions. Okay, so let's say you had an event that happened to you, and it's been years and years and years ago. But all of a sudden you thought it was cool, you know, you was like, oh, I'm over that, no worries. And then all of a sudden you get triggered. When you get triggered with that thought, all of a sudden the emotions that you felt when you were actually living that event at that time, all those emotions come rushing back in like a tsunami. You feel what you felt, you hear what you heard, you smell what was in the atmosphere. If it was anything relating to food, you had the taste of the food in your mouth. I mean, it was so real. It was what I think people call deja vu when you're triggered. But that's how powerful our emotions are. So if we can manage our thoughts, we can manage our emotions. So we have to be aware that our thoughts create our emotions. So whatever thoughts that you're having, make them positive thoughts. Because when you have the negative thoughts, then you're going to have the negative emotions. Okay? Emotionally healthy people still feel stress. We still feel anger. And we still feel sadness, even though we have the tools and the techniques to be able to better manage our emotions, but still, we still feel those emotions from time to time. But the key is that we are aware of them at that present moment. See, that's the thing. We have to be aware that we're sad at that moment. Then we can start digging and trying to figure out, well, what's causing it? What is the root cause of this sadness? Why am I sad? Because if you're not aware that you're sad, then it's just going to continue to go on and on and on. So once you are aware, which kind of goes back to the 3 A's that I did earlier, I think it was in April. No, yeah, it was in April. I think it was, or May, whenever. The 3 A's: awareness, accountability, and adjustments. Okay. But once you are aware that you're stressed or you're angry or you're sad, at that moment, acknowledge it. At that moment, acknowledge it. Because now you're managing it. Once you know that you're angry, then you can you can utilize the tools to be able to manage that anger better. Okay? So the negative feelings, the negative thoughts comes from the negative thoughts create the negative feelings. So that's why you hear a lot of people talk about positive thoughts, positive energy. And the reason why is because those are the things that actually affect our thoughts, our emotions, our decision making. It affects so many things. And of course, our physical health too. Okay. When you are aware that you are having whatever emotion it is, whether it's anger, sadness, whatever, when you are aware of it, you get to handle it on your own terms. You know what I'm saying? You don't let it get out of control. It doesn't start to handle you. See, you don't want it to handle you. You want to handle it. That's what that is, okay? And there are steps that you can take to improve your emotional health and be happier, okay? There is a path to improving your well-being, and your emotional health is absolutely, positively a big part of that, It is. Okay. Our emotional health is a very important part of our lives because it allows us to be able to realize our full potential. Okay. It allows you to be able to work more productively, especially if you're dealing with stress, just everyday life, and we are going to have things that's going to come up in everyday life because life is lifing, as PD say. Life is lifing, and when life is lifing, sometimes stress creeps in. But here's the thing, it helps to work with people and be able to recognize the space that you're in, because then you are able to be effective with doing something about it. Like let's say you have habits, or even with your purpose. Even with your purpose, it's the same thing. Okay. Here's another thing is that research has shown that the link between being an upbeat emotional person and the state of the physical side of it. Here's some signs of how that affects your health. Okay. That includes lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease, and you have a healthier weight. Okay. So being upbeat, positive energy, big energy, managing your thoughts, which helps you to manage your emotions, that is good health, mental, emotional, and physical. The physical side of it, like I said, you lower the risk of heart disease. You lower the risk of being obese. You lower the risk of high blood pressure. So yes, there is a benefit to being emotionally healthy. So here are some ways that you can improve or maintain good health. The first thing is to be aware of your emotions and your reactions to your emotions. Okay? Seriously, be aware of your emotions. If you're angry, be aware and acknowledge and adjust. Okay? Notice what's in your life that's making you feel that emotions. I know it originated from the thought, but the thought came and then the emotions was attached to the thought. So start paying attention to your thought process and noticing the thoughts that make you sad or the thoughts that make you angry, because, sometimes we have people in our lives. I'm just going to keep it real right here, okay? I'm just going to keep it 100. Sometimes we have people in our lives that it's like they were like put on this earth simply to just trigger us. Seriously. And when you have those people in your life, you have to learn how to manage the emotions. You have to learn how to manage the frustration. You got to learn how to manage the sadness. You got to learn how to manage the anger. And then you have to address those things. You have to address them. And that's the acknowledgement. And then you have to make the adjustments. Here's another thing that helps you to have a healthy emotional state is expressing your feelings in an appropriate way. Okay? Not if you're angry, just going all off on the deep end. Okay? Okay, so you're angry, but express that in a way where, number one, that you don't have to go back and eat humble pie. And it's okay to express when you're sad. It's okay to express when you're angry. It's okay to express when you're frustrated, but do it in an appropriate way. And the other thing is that I think that when you have people that are close to you that you can express that to, I think it helps, because holding it in is not beneficial for us. So I think that when you have people that are close to you, it's good to let them know that something is bothering you, because when you keep those feelings of sadness and anger or frustration inside, it creates stress. And we all know what stress does. Stress can kill you as quick as a bullet. Seriously, it can. So that's the reason why when you're feeling those things and you feel like, okay, I can't manage this. I've tried every technique. I've used every tool in my toolbox, and I'm still frazzled. Then at that point, you may want to, a confidant, somebody that you have that you know that you can share stuff with and be able to, get it out, because you have to get it out. Here's another thing. Think before you act. Sometimes with our emotions, we react. What you want to do is you want to respond versus reacting. Now, the difference is the reacting is just that. It's a reaction. A response is different. A response is you've taken a minute to think about it before you react. Okay, so thinking before you act, that can be powerful when it comes to our emotions. Okay, and when I say think before you act, before you respond, that is what I mean. It's like before you respond, think before you act. Okay, because that's one of the tools that we need to be able to utilize. Okay, give yourself time to think about it, calm yourself down, center yourself before you say or do anything, okay? Because you don't want to do something that you might regret. Because sometimes we can't go back and change things. So that's the reason why we need to take the time and utilize this tool. Take the time and really look at the situation. Look at it from a different perspective before you do that. That's going to help you to manage your stress, okay? Learn some relaxation techniques. And I did talk about that, I believe, in the first episode. Deep breathing, meditating, praying, going for a walk in nature. These are the things that will be able to help you. It's a mechanism tool. It helps you to be able to manage your emotions, because if your emotions get out of control, now you have stepped over into a whole nother state, which is stress. Okay, and you don't want to go there, because stress definitely affects our health. Okay, so do some deep breathing, some meditation, some exercise, go out for a walk, pray, find something to do when you're in that state that you feel like I'm not managing this. Let me do something different, because it will definitely help you. Strive to balance and find a healthy balance between work and play, because sometimes, like me, I've always been a workaholic. And didn't really play much. I always heard the term, work hard, play hard. I always worked hard, but I never really played as hard as I worked. So it's good to have that balance, because it's definitely healthy for us emotionally and physically. So find a balance between work and play, and find some time for other activities as well. And here's something that most of us don't do. Make the time for the things that you enjoy. Seriously, make time for the things you enjoy. And focus on the positive things in your life. Gratitude. Every day, find something to be grateful for. Every day. Every day. That's going to help your emotions. It really, really will. When you find things to be grateful for, your thought process is going to change. Once your thought process changes, then your emotions are going to change. Here's another one, which is one of the pillars. Take care of yourself through physical activity regularly. Seriously. That when I go to the gym, I go to the gym 5 days a week. Okay. And yes, I go because I want to be healthy, but sometimes I go and it's therapy. Seriously. Sometimes I can go and it's like I'm so heavy, so weighed down, but I get in there and I start pumping that iron. And when I tell you it's therapy for me, sometimes it is. So regular exercise will do you good. I promise you, just try it. Okay. Eating healthy meals is another thing. Getting enough sleep, all these things are the pillars that we already talked about. But they're important for your emotional health. Because guess what? When you don't get enough sleep, tell me, you think about how you act when you don't get enough sleep. When you're hungry, think about how you act. Some of us are not pleasant. Okay. I'm just going to say that. Some of us are not pleasant. So sleep, regular exercise, our healthy meals, those things help us balance our emotions as well. They really do. Now, here's another thing. Don't pick up any vices, like drugs and alcohol, because, that's going to affect your health again, but I know that sometimes, we get emotional and it's like, I just need a glass of wine. I just need one drink. I'm just going to go and have one drink, and then if the emotion is still there, then tomorrow, guess what you're going to do? You're going to need to go and have another drink. So don't turn to abusing any type of substance, drugs or alcohol, because fix the issue. Whatever the emotion is, deal with that. Okay. Create an atmosphere and an environment for you so that you can constantly stay in a positive frame of mind. And here's something else that's important. Connect with people that have the same mindset, who have a positive mindset, who are concerned with their emotional health, who watch what they eat, who exercise, who, surround yourself with those kind of people so that those kind of things that it will influence you to become and to help you to get to that place. Those are the kind of people that you need to be around. Okay. Join some groups, just get out there and do some things that you like. Just stay positive and focus on the good things in your life. I can't stress that enough. And there may even be some things that's going on in your life that you may have not forgiven yourself for. Forgive yourself for any mistakes that you've made. Forgive others. Spend time with emotionally healthy people. That's what I'm trying to say. Spend time with emotionally healthy people. You do not want to spend time with people who are toxic. It's not going to help you. Okay? So spend time with healthy emotional people. That is the key. Here's one thing that I want to say before I close is being angry or being sad or whatever the emotion is that you're feeling constantly, whether it's you're anxious, you are susceptible to so many illnesses. When you are always angry or you're always anxious or you're always sad, you are putting yourself at risk for strokes, heart attacks, diabetes, high blood pressure, high A1C, obesity. You're putting yourself at risk for all those things. So let's be aware of our emotional health, and let's take some of these tools and learn how to better manage our emotional health, because it does affect our physical health. Hey, that's what I have for you today. I hope this episode has added some value to your life. Thank you for joining me here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. If this podcast has been a benefit to you, please follow me, subscribe, share it with someone that it may be a benefit to them as well. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. And remember, knowledge applied is power. This is Master Coach G, and I'll see you on the next level.